Hello friends, I'm Smita Katti and welcome to another Smiling Colors video. Thanks so much for stopping by today. In today's video, I'm going to be showing 4 different ways to use your Tombows. So you all know that I love my Tombows. I love this pastel set especially. So I'm sharing 4 projects today. Each one of them uses a different technique. So let's get started and I'll show you more. So for this first project, I'm going to do a little bit of watercoloring. I'm just going to color and then paint with water. That's as simple as it gets. These Tombow brush pens have a brush tip, as the name suggests. So what I do is I just lay down the color wherever I want it on the paper. You want to use a nice thick quality paper for this. And then I dip my paintbrush in the water and then I paint over it. Since these pens are water reactive, the color just softens with the water and you're able to spread it like watercolors. And this is a very quick, non-messy way of watercoloring. These markers are so easy to carry around. They come in a neat package as well. I love doing this technique and I've done it many times, but I never tire of it. And I'm just drawing basic, simple flower shapes. So once I had all the flowers in there, the perfect phrase that came to mind was "Hello Spring." So using the Tombow Mono permanent marker, I used the pen tip, not the marker tip. I just quickly lettered the words "Hello Spring." I made the words fit into the space that was left above, and I didn't do any fancy brush lettering or anything, just some basic cursive letters. Once the flowers had dried to the touch, I just went over the black line just to highlight them a little bit more. And here's how the finished project looks. I used all of the colors from the set, and I created a fun little garden of my own, and I love how this project turned out. Okay, for the second one here, I'm doing brush lettering. Since these dual brush pens come with a brush tip, you can do brush lettering, which is a style of calligraphy in which your upstrokes are thinner and your downstrokes are thicker. Since I wanted to use all of the 9 colors from the set, I just changed colors every 2-3 letters, and this is how my lettering turned out. Very colorful and pretty. Okay, now project number 3. This idea is one of my favorite ones actually. For this one, I'm using a mixed media paper, which is important because you're going to be layering a lot of color on here. So I'm starting with the dark yellow color and I'm just doodling some outlines of flowers. Then with the colorless blender, which is included in every set, I'm just dragging the color to kind of fill in the petals. I'm repeating this with the next color, which is the lighter yellow here, and I'm slightly overlapping it, just so that the colors kind of blend when I drag them. I'm just going to overlap the colors, draw messy outlines of flowers, and then use my colorless blender to drag the color and color in the petals. This works well on mixed media papers because the pigment gets to sit on the paper for a few seconds without being absorbed. In that time, I can take the colorless blender pen and drag the color and move it easily. And I like the way that I could fill the entire page by overlapping the colors and create this soft pastel background. This one especially has a very zen-like feel. It's a very repetitive pattern. You're just drawing those flowers and coloring it in and mixing the colors, and by the end you just enjoy it and relax so much. I loved how this turned out. I really think I need to add a quote on top of it, but I might just scan it first and make it into note cards or something. I'm not sure yet. Okay, that brings us to the final project. Of course, I saved the best for the last. This is another mixed media sketchbook of mine, and I'm going to be coloring in an illustration that I've drawn before. This one says "Always be yourself." It's a nice mermaid theme, and I thought these pastel colors would be just beautiful with it. Coloring with the dual brush pens is so much fun. Because of the brush tip, you can color in like the narrow areas, but then if you have to color in a larger area, the brush tip is so useful to fill in larger, bigger areas as well. Not only that, you can add in shading by just adding the color and dragging it with the colorless blender. Again, I used all of the colors in the pack to color in my illustration, but I needed a nice skin tone color for the mermaid skin, and I decided to create that by using the blending palette. I added the lighter pink and the lighter yellow that comes in the pack. I mixed them together with a little bit of green, just a hint of green, and then using my colorless blender, I just colored in the skin. And I like the way it turned out. For the hair, I created a dark caramelly color, and something you need to keep in mind is if you're laying down a lot of color like with the yellow here, the area in which you lay down the marker, that'll be your darkest area. So you want to lay down the color in the areas where you would see the shadows, and then drag the color with a colorless blender or a lighter color So you get this nice play between light and dark. I didn't do a really in-depth coloring. I spent like maybe 10 or 15 minutes coloring in this sketch today. This is actually an illustration of mine, and I will leave a link where you can find the illustration and color it yourself if you want to. So that brings us to the end of this video. I quickly showed you 4 different ways to use your Tombow brush pens. In this first example, we did a little bit of watercoloring. In the second example, we did some brush lettering. In the third example, we did some overlapping of color and used the colorless blender to blend everything. And in the fourth example, we did some basic coloring, just coloring in the lines, but these colors are so beautiful and they go together so well that you don't have to think much. You're just reaching for the colors and putting it in. That is something that I love about using a smaller set of colors. When there are just 9 or 10 markers to choose from, you just reach. If I want a green, I reach for the green that's in the set. But I know that my end project, the art that I create, will always have a well-coordinated look because these colors are all designed to go together. The color selection has already been done for you, and that is one of the best things for me. So I hope this video gave you a few more ideas on how to use your set of Tombows. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, share this video, and also subscribe to my channel. I'll be back soon again with more videos. Till then, happy crafting!